couple more questions before we finish up.
Sure.
About stable coins. So what's your thoughts on stable coins? I've seen, a few perspectives around how banks are excited about it because it allows them to not have to hold so much cash, and they can leverage that as an asset to be able to repurpose dollars. Of course, the connection between stable coins and Ethereum and the Ether price based off of the usage and the potential value proposition are stable coins more a institutional conversation? Is it more of a retail conversation? Where do you see stable coins really playing a role, short and long term?
I think stable coins are great. I'm from the cloth of, and you got to be a really punch drunk crypto hippie to know, I'm from the cloth of when Maker was being pushed back in 2017. You know what I mean? I'm an OG. I'm the OG of the OGs with that. I always thought Maker, and it ended up being MakerDAO and it switched, but I always thought Maker was fascinating. I remember being at a conference in 2017, hearing about it. I'm like, man, this is interesting, right? Because you need some type of settlement, right? Like if we're moving assets, you got to have some type of settlement on chain and liquidity and cash. And so I think stable coins are great. I think if you haven't used them, you should. I mean, paying people in USDC, getting investments in USDC, and you're getting the money like that is really cool, right? I had an investor in Turnkey, and he, sent us some USDC, and before he could even tell me, right, like it was sent, I was like, we see it, it's here. He's like, I didn't even send you the confirm yet, you know. So I think it's powerful in that regard. I think the ability to use it to borrow, lend, get yield is really interesting. Again, if you are in the ecosystem, I think it's more of a retail. It started out as more of a retail story that's becoming an institutional story now, because every time you go online, another institution is launching some type of stable coin. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know why everybody needs one, but we'll figure it out. Right? It's good for my business. Do it. Right? That means more wallet addresses. Thank you. So I think it's becoming more of an institutional story. I think there are folks like Privy and Bridge and companies that are going to help, larger institutions figure that out, to be able to pay employees, to allow people to get their money faster and cheaper. But a lot of this is, the Genius Act passed, which is nice, but there's still some hangups in the Clarity Act around stablecoin yield. I feel like people should be able to get yield on their stable coins. The banks ain't going for that. But there you go. I think if that's the case, what people going to do? They're going to find their local DeFi protocol, take their and they're going to move it on the protocol and get yield.
And keep it moving. That's right. That's exactly right. But curiosity around, because unfortunately, anything that you can use, you can abuse, and in the crypto space, we've seen a lot more abuse of this when it pertains to NFTs. And so there has been the conversation around the utility in regards of having a digital paper trail when it pertains to the authenticity of a particular document. If it could be a driver's license, it could be a deed, it could be, you name it. Are those conversations, are you hearing anything in regards of NFTs, not much in the art space, but in regards of being able to authenticate, documents or material that may be valuable?
No, it's kind of, NFTs they're on life support. I do think that there's an opportunity for them to make a comeback. I mean, prior to us recording, we were talking about Martha's Vineyard, and I was very deep in the community there and dealing with a lot of the Black business owners, and a woman up there named Kahina, who I stayed at her bed and breakfast, which was incredible. She owns a couple properties. She has a store there called Jubilee. If you're there, go visit. And she wants to build this community and have people get rewards of going into the store or events with her, or whatever else. That's a great idea for an NFT. Yeah. Right. So I have my NFT. I walk into the store, right? I have my digital badge. Maybe that means I get a certain percentage off, and then I get the plug on where she's going to be for a fireside chat or something like that. And she has all of these wonderful Black artists and entrepreneurs and designers and things and writers who put things in her store. And I go, you know what? Yeah, I may not want that bag, but I want a digital representation of the bag so I can support the creator, right? And then that digital value goes to the creator. That creator has a wallet. Now, all of a sudden, I don't buy the bag, but man, I want to support the creator. So I want to send 5 USDC to the creator, right? And maybe I want both. I want the physical representation. So I'm going to buy the bag and I'm going to donate, right, to the creator. However you do that. And that would be really interesting for both parties, because now I own the shop. And I say to Isaac, all right, fine. You want to put your planning hats here? Well, I can either give you 100% of whatever we earn, or, right, you can sell the hats for 75% of what you normally would. And then the other 25% will give people the option to, make a donation or whatever else, or goes to you directly. Like, that's dope. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? So that's where I think there's some value. But I had a conversation with her about that, and I think that's something that she's looking to implement. So I'm trying to help her with that as much as possible.
Yeah, that's incredible. And